Thank you for joining us for another episode of USATF's Journey to Gold Zone podcast. I'm your host, Erik Kynard, joined by the long jump extraordinaire, man. Florida State Seminole, right?
Yes, sir.
Jeremiah Davis, man. What's going on?
Not much, just living life.
How you? Just living life?
Yes, sir.
Getting ready. You a professional athlete on us, man. Olympian, Paris Olympian. You don't win pro.
Yes, sir.
Puma athlete. Training with the great Levan Sands.
The one and only.
One and only. Horizontal jump extraordinaire. How's everything going, man?
I can't complain.
Yeah.
Everything been good. Just blessed and favored.
Yeah. So what are your expectations, man, coming into this year? Obviously, we're coming off an Olympic year in 2024. I would say you had a successful 2024. Maybe you were not as satisfied with the season in 2024. Just talking to us a little bit about wrapping up, the collegiate career, stepping into the pro stage on that runway, and then now obviously preparing for World Championships in your post-Olympic experience.
Well, I wouldn't say I was satisfied with last year
Yeah.
in aspects. I always make vision boards. So on my vision board, I had to where I won a medal, whether that was first, second, or third. I just wanted to win a medal. I made the team like I didn't win NCAAs, but I just wasn't really satisfied with last year. I mean, I did accomplish a few milestones that I did want to, but looking forward to this year, training has been going good, and I'm more so looking forward to obtaining a medal at World Championships, and then going to outdoor worlds. I want a PB, like a lifetime PB.
Yeah.
Like 837, been there for 3 years.
It's time to stretch that out, huh?
Exactly.
It's time to stretch it out. Okay, now we're here at the Tucson Throws Festival. You're participating in the long jump. This
Yes,
is
sir.
not your first meet of the season, is it?
No, sir.
So talk to us a little bit about, stepping on the runway in 2025 and what that's look like now with your expectations adjusted and refocused.
Outdoors, indoors, I'll say indoors, it was a little rocky situation. I didn't have really much training under my belt, so I was just going to meets and using those as practice, 8 meters here and there. And then outdoors, once when I had a solid month of training underneath my belt, I ended up going 825. It wasn't win legal, but popped off with a good one. 790 at Tom Jones. Then I went over to China. I got a little banged up. Had a 787, and then the next meet tried to push through 740 and cut it short, and then had 3 weeks off, and now we back here.
Yeah, just reset. I know that China trip is tough, man. You try to do a double-double. You try to double up in
Man.
China. The craziest thing about competing in China, obviously, is the time and the travel, right?
Yes, sir.
But what's crazier, I think, is if you go over there trying to attempt to do more than one meet and spend that month, because it almost ends up being a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Over there. So how do you find now traveling as a professional and adjusting to the different adversities on the track, and associated with, the travel and professional life?
So I just last night I had like a moment where I just sent coach a text, actually, just telling him how mentally I wasn't in tune with track for like a good while, and I just told him I ended up making it into a job instead of a hobby like I wanted to.
Yeah.
So instead of actually going out having fun, enjoying the moment and being present, I was just stressing like, oh, I need to make sure this is there, I need to do this and that, and I just changed the way I look at it and just enjoy myself and being present.
You think that switch to professionalism triggered that change in mentality where you started to view it like, oh, I'm at work and not this is my passion and this is what I love to do?
I think yeah and no. Like sometimes I could get in my own head, and I would result in being in that same mindset, like this is my job, I got to make sure I do this and that. But in reality, I actually like prayed on this, dreamed on it, so like why not enjoy it? And I'm the only person who could get myself out of that headspace. And it took me maybe a month, but it didn't happen.
You said you prayed on it. I know you're God-fearing, man. Your faith is something that you believe in extremely. I also, if I'm not mistaken, you faced some different adversities as it relates to personal adversity. Was it last year,
It was earlier this year.
Earlier this year.
Yes,
earlier this year. Do you mind, elaborating on that?
Yeah.
Touching on that a little bit?
Well, I lost my mom to breast cancer. And like I was saying, through like indoors, I was traveling back and forth from home, so that's why I really wasn't practicing.
Yeah.
I'll be up here in Tally for like a week, go home for 2.5 weeks, just visiting my mom and taking care of her as much as I can. Yeah. And that's really the main thing. So just having that, seeing that I could battle through that, and then coming back now, shoot, that ain't nothing that could really stop me anymore.
Man, I can't imagine, dealing with something like that, losing your mother and maintaining, a mental space of fortitude to be able to continue to train and be able to continue to try to apply yourself, and for all intents and purposes, continue to make her proud outside of her presence, physically not being here. Is the spirit of your mother is she a bigger motivator now for you to, pursue,
I would say
your dreams, or
she was always my rock, like always the person that always pushed me.
Yeah.
And during college, when I didn't have my scholarship, that was my main focus, making sure she wasn't coming out of her pocket too much, because she got a family at home and she got to take care of too. And then I'm maturing as a man, and I got to stand on my own 2 feet. But yeah, she the last thing I could say that like stuck with me, I had told her, I was like, Mama, I gotta go and get back to training. She said, I know, but you gotta promise me one thing, go make that money.
Yeah.
And ever since then, like I said, I just carry her with me at all times, and just definitely remember everything she done told me. And the main thing, she said she don't want to see no 7 meters. I just want to see straight 8s.
Yeah,
so
straight 8s. Yeah,
that's the plan.
Well, no, I can imagine that is definitely motivating for you, and something that you kind of retain in your memory bank as it relates to, staying consistent on the runway, and also mentally consistent and overcoming, the adversities that come along with this. Because like you said, this is not when you pursuing your passions and your dreams, as a track and field athlete, you kind of an inventor, you're trying to either recreate your greatest work or create a greater work or masterpiece every time you step on that runway, especially in the jumps. As you know, I'm far familiar with, it's not like running where it's like, you run a race and you're competing against somebody, and as long as I beat this person or I'm ahead of them, I'm fine with that. A lot of what, you go through as a jumper is cerebral, and it's intrinsic, and from a mental standpoint, you have to have, your mind, sharp enough to deal with, putting that force and pressure into the ground, man. So that takes some extreme fortitude to be faced with adversity, as extreme as losing a parent, and continuing to push on, man. So if I had a hat on, I'd take it off for you for sure, man. Because that shows a lot. So outside of, your passion for track and field and promoting financial gain as it relates to, keeping the main thing and staying on your business, what else are you, interested in, or do you have any other interests outside of the sport?
My other hobbies, I'd say cooking, drawing.
Cooking, all right, hold on. Cooking, like cooking, like.
No, like cooking.
Cooking like Food Network. Cooking, or
I say myself, I'm a food connoisseur, so yeah.
Okay, food connoisseur. Now, food connoisseur, that implies consuming. That don't necessarily imply creating.
Nah, I can create and,
Oh, you throw it down and you throw it down.
Yeah,
huh?
I done hosted Thanksgiving for the family.
Oh, okay.
What else?
You hosted Thanksgiving for the family, then. You certified.
I done told you, yeah.
You certified with that.
I do American foods.
Okay.
Caribbean foods.
Hold on.
Desserts.
Caribbean foods like what? Talk about it.
Jerk chicken.
Curry
chicken. Oxtails.
Oh, okay.
Brown stew chicken. I do it all.
Okay.
Then pasta.
You in the kitchen.
I'm in the kitchen.
Iron cast, still skillets.
Yep. The grill too now.
Grill too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that passion from, a maternal thing, a family thing? Did your mom teach you how to cook?
Nah, well, my mom taught me sweets and stuff. Mm-hmm. And my dad taught me to grill, and then everything else I just learned by trying.
Just trying it out, picking it up. Now, would this kind of parlay itself into like a food truck, a restaurant? Do you have interest that great, or you just kind of hobbyist as it relates to the kitchen?
I think it's more so just a hobby.
Hobby,
but, like,
okay.
What I find joy in is helping like my teammates. So like, probably venture off into coaching eventually.
Oh, coaching, okay.
Yeah.
Jumps only?
Jumps. I say jumps. Well, I do multiple sports, so I say jumps. Speed training, football, basketball, all that.
Okay. Now, are you starting now as it relates to coaching, like with youth programming or anything of that nature? Have you had a camp back in your own hometown or community?
Not yet. Well, I say yeah and no. I done helped coach with a jumps camp twice before, and I enjoyed that. And it was just cool seeing like the progress of the kids. And then I say I do have something in the works that I want to put on back home.
Okay.
Whether that's a jumps camp or a speed camp, but it's I come from an area of straight athletes, and a lot of people there that attend.
Talk about it. Where do you come from?
Fort Myers, Florida.
Fort Myers, Florida.
Yeah.
What's in Fort Myers?
Fort Myers, I say it's more like a city. So you got the ghetto, obviously, but then you got like the city side. And Fort Myers is where I was born, but I was raised in Lehigh Acres.
Okay.
And I claim Fort Myers because that's what we all know, 239.
Metropolitan area,
And there we got a bunch of kids who look up to me, but also look up to a bunch of other professional athletes. And they just want to make it out and make a way for them own selves. And if I could shine light on them, that's my plan. And let alone if I could uplift some people, that's also my goal.
Oh, man, that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, listen, I ain't going to hold you up, Jeremiah. I told you that before you sat down, man, but I appreciate you joining us.
Yes,
and I appreciate you being able to persevere through the adversities you face, both on and off the runway. A special shout out to all those women out there, fighting the good fight with breast cancer. And man, we commend y'all. Y'all the real true warriors.
Yes,
and, a special shout out to in remembrance of your mother, man. Extending our deepest condolences to you. I know it's not fresh.
Yes, sir.
However, that is something that I'm sure is truly difficult on a daily.
It's still appreciated.
Yeah.
And I appreciate everybody.
Man. Well, is there anything else you want to touch on while we're here to talk to us about? Anything you're expecting? Social media handles? I'm expecting that 8-meter consistency now.
So, like I said, I done had my moment.
Yeah.
I think me personally, my biggest goal, it's not really USA's.
Yeah.
My biggest goal is getting to the world stage and actually performing.
Japan.
Well, that's world stage is in Diamond Leagues.
Yeah.
Japan, Tokyo, in general. I just want to, I done did my time here, and I know I could do it again, but I'm ready for what's bigger.
Well, you got a good teacher.
Yes, sir.
I will say that. You talking about, that being your biggest goal is, and having somebody able to teach you and show you who's been there is half the battle.
Yes,
sir.
What I
mean? Okay. It's easy for somebody to tell you what they do in the fight when they ain't never been in one, as you know.
That's true.
What I'm saying? But, Coach Sands has definitely been out there in the thick of it and in the trenches as it relates to, the sport. And, he's faced great adversity in the sport physically.
Yep.
Come back from that, and all the things, man. So if anybody can show you, I think a path to the podium is him, man.
Yes, sir.
So we definitely could thank you for joining us again.
Anytime.
And we'll be watching intently on your progress and throughout your career, man.
Yes, sir. I
Jeremiah
appreciate y'all.
Thank you for joining us.